Chapter 1 Introduction 6 MSOL freshman students appeared, destined to be put in the same group. Out of 5 interesting project choices, all 6 of us were placed into one focusing on LED light bulbs. To start, we introduced ourselves to our parent partner, Loring, and our community partner, Rafi. We all smiled, shook hands, and got right to work.
Chapter 2 Drowning in Papers. For every lead project, as you may know, each group member is required to write a research paper on a designated topic. Naturally, our papers were centered around LEDs, how they worked, what they were, and why they are more efficient. Now, let me explain one thing to you. Writing your first research paper is stressful. Middle school didn't prepare us for the world that we had just jumped into. In the beginning, the process was smooth and easy, but like any new school assignment, that never remained the case. We crammed to finish our papers for deadlines. Needless to say, we were grateful when the due date rolled around, and the deep pool that we had been kicking in receded to our ankles.
Chapter 3 What do you propose? Although we had already undertaken a lot, the work wasn't over yet. In fact, it had just begun. Now came the task of organizing our thoughts into a proposal. To us, that sounded daunting, our first unknown task. It was like a scary monster craning over our shoulder. In reality, it's relatively simple. If you assess something as an individual, it looks much more intimidating than viewing it from a group perspective. For the most part, everyone pitched in their appropriate work and the proposal was good quality. The only hiccup occurred when we turned it in one day late, but a million times more prepared to be graded. After our proposal was out of the picture, we started to focus on the real meat of the project and created this beautiful chart to help us along the way. This chart mapped out all of our work for the semester and was our reference point the whole time.
Chapter 4 Chatting and Math, but not chatting about math. At this point in time, our project was about to take off. Our front wheels were off the runway, but we were still missing a key part to success: communication. Email just wasn't working out. People didn't check it often enough, and it felt like talking to a brick wall. We all noticed this and decided upon a free messaging app called Kik. This plan seemed perfect, but like I said, only our front wheels had left the track. It took longer than expected to get 100% participation in the conversation, and even when we did, there was still a lack of communication. But do not despair. We resolved this. Finally, the back wheels lifted, and we were off. From then on, we drew quick blueprints of our display and added the whole cost together. It equaled $600. This stunned us, but not into a complete state of peril.
I've got a feeling deep inside, oh yeah.
Chapter 5 Money doesn't grow on trees. If you didn't already know, money doesn't grow on trees. There are no orchards in the Central Valley with leaves of dollar bills growing on them. Disappointing, but true. So then how do you pay for something when you have no money in your wallet? Simple, you ask for it. We started by contacting the pedal generator company K-Tor and asking for a discount. Incredibly, they complied and gave us $80 discount on each generator. Next, we sent our project description to Ace Hardware and Batteries Plus. Both offered to help us, but we ended up getting more help from Marin Ace. Michelle from Marin Ace was so kind and helpful to our project, and offered to give us all our supplies. By far, the most important thing we learned was how to ask for money without sounding like 11-year-olds selling Girl Scout cookies. Professional behavior isn't something we are all born with, and gaining that understanding in freshman year is quite amazing.
Chapter 6. To be constructed or not to be constructed. Now we have all our supplies, donated to us by Marin Ace. But however were we going to build it all? The answer is simple. Just do it. The Sunday before project week, I grabbed all the wood we needed, cut it, and built our generator stands so that we'd be able to finish construction by Monday or Tuesday. At school the next day, 4 of us spent much of the morning drilling and sanding, and by lunch the next day, everything was done. For those of us who had never used a drill before, I'd say that is a useful life skill to have.
There are places I remember.
Chapter 7. A presentation here, a presentation there. One key thing we did not mention was the contribution from SEI. We were aware that they owned a bike with a constructed pedal-powered generator, but what we didn't know was that it was connected to a light display, and most importantly, that we could use it. One Friday, Brendan brought in the bike, and we set it up. It worked magnificently. Since we had not already collected all of our materials and the generators were still on their way, we decided to present it to our MSL class as an alternate presentation. On Thursday, November 20th, we brought the bike to our third period with Mr. Madsen and presented for 25 minutes. The presentation was successful. After we got all of our materials and constructed them, we asked Ace Hardware if we could bring a booth to their store before Monday. Ace said yes. They were overjoyed to have us come, and we settled on Saturday. At 10 a.m., all of us showed up, materials in hand. For those 3 hours, we talked to passers-by and recorded how many people we spoke to. Of course, there were going to be some people who just simply walked by, but there were some that stopped and listened to us. Overall, it was successful. Thank you so much, Ace Hardware.